home back in April of last year. We know that Mitchell has denied all allegations, instead saying she had gone to check in on a family member with Alzheimer's disease. The start of the trial was pushed back until after the legislative session was finished, and then was delayed again after the killings of Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. Now, we just heard from our reporter in the courtroom, that the judge expects the jury selection to go until 4:30 this afternoon. About 80 people are in the jury pool. Criminal defense attorney Joe Tamburino joins me now. Joe, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We know that you're not affiliated with this specific case, but you are our legal expert, and so we want to know, you have said that this will be a very difficult trial for Senator Mitchell to win. What makes this so challenging from a defense perspective?
Well, a few things. The first thing is the facts and circumstances surrounding how she was found. Because according to the complaint, and if this is proven at trial, she was found hiding in the basement, wearing all black, and then, you know, and her stepmother called because she thought she was being burglarized.
Right.
Second is the statements that Ms. Mitchell made upon arrest. They were incriminating statements. Third, there doesn't seem to be any legal defense here. The only thing that's happening is we have the defense attorney, who I believe said to the media earlier today that he's not plea bargaining because he thinks that this case will resonate with the public. So what that tells me is that they're not putting some defense out there, like some legal defense, like say self-defense, anything like that. What they're saying is more jury nullification. We want the jury to find her not guilty.
So speaking of the juries, selection is going on right now, and we just heard that the judge say it could be wrapped up by 4:30 this afternoon. Does the fact that she is a sitting state senator help or hurt her in the eyes of the jury?
It depends on the juror. It depends on the particular juror, because, you know, what's interesting is this jury panel, it's called, the whole jury panel, that's all of the prospective jurors, got a 10-page questionnaire, whether they got it earlier this morning or last week, and they have to fill out all this information. But there are no questions about politics. Now, it is true, judges routinely do not want attorneys to talk about religion and politics when they're questioning prospective jurors. But the elephant in the room in here is that everyone knows she's a sitting state senator.
Right.
I mean, she could actually be addressed as Senator Mitchell when she's being questioned. So I would imagine the attorneys are going to want to get into that.
Okay. Do you think it's wise for Senator Mitchell to testify herself? Is that risky?
It is risky, but in this case, why not?
Okay.
And here, there are 2 points with that. First is, it appears that she will be calling character witnesses. So those are witnesses who would say, presumably, she's an honest person, she's a good person, you know, she wouldn't do something like this. So in order to have a greater impact on the jury with such evidence, you would want to testify, because you would say, I have these witnesses who are talking about my good character. Now I'm going to testify to tell you about me, to tell you about what happened. So I think it would be to her benefit.
Okay. As someone from the public watching this trial, how much should the public read into this case as a legal matter versus a political one?
See, that's an excellent question, because, you know, when the defense attorney said that they're basically going to trial because they think this will resonate to the jury, okay, you're not really saying a defense there. So are you going to trial for political reasons, which means you don't want to lose a seat in the legislature? And if that's the case, that's an unfortunate decision, because trials shouldn't be about politics. Trials should be about you get your day in court. Due process, constitutional rights say you get your day in court, you get to make motions, you get to call witnesses, and it shouldn't be about politics.
That's a tough one, especially as such a public official and leader. My last question here is, if you were defending this case, what would be your top priority heading into trial?
Your top priority is always your client, number one. And number two is, I would have tried to have resolved this case. There are 4 degrees of burglary in Minnesota. The first 3, first degree, second degree, and third degree, are all felonies. But the 4th degree is not a felony. It's called a gross misdemeanor burglary. That's when you enter someone's house, when you're not invited, but you don't commit a theft. Something else happens. And you don't lose any rights with that. So if you were convicted of a gross misdemeanor, you could still vote, you could still be on a jury. I think it would be easier for her to remain in the legislature. So I would have tried to negotiate this case.
Okay. Oh, we'll wait to see what comes out of this case and continue talking with you throughout the process. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll have continuing coverage of this. Extended coverage, too, of the Mitchell trial with a camera in the courtroom as soon as opening statements begin. That'll be on our free streaming channel, CBS News Minnesota, and our WCCO TV YouTube channel. Well, Minnesotans are going to be dealing with the heat today as well as smoky skies. So let's check in with next weather meteorologist Joseph Dames.
Happy Monday to everyone. Good morning. New week and some new stuff to discuss. New next weather factors. The big one over the weekend was the wildfire smoke. Well, I'm here to report that there's going to be some improvements this morning. Still kind of seeing some lingering smoke, but as we get into the afternoon, we'll mix in some hopefully cleaner air. So I expect things to be better by the time we get into the afternoon, though not perfect, of course. A little hot, humid, that's for sure today, and that goes for tomorrow as well. But eventually a front moves in. That's going to help cool us down, and then we'll hold on to that cooler air to finish off the week till about Saturday or so before we probably get closer to something seasonable. For today, air quality alerts still up north. That is until 6 p.m. All these counties that you see right here, and tentatively till about lunchtime for western Wisconsin. Very unhealthy to unhealthy as possible as far as the air quality goes. The smoke forecast will show that kind of dense, low-level smoke up north today, with some improvements heading into tonight before it tries to kind of fade back down to the southwest as we head into our Tuesday. I'm not going to rule out more smoke on and off through the week. I just think that we're probably through what is the worst of it over the last couple of days. But of course, this is